Okay, I lost my train of thought, but now what I was thinking about earlier is coming back to me. And it's this. I've noticed for myself over the last, probably really the last 10 years, and I'm starting to notice now that there's been some things that I've been working towards. This is a lot of like interpersonal growth. Things that I've wanted to change the trajectory that I was on. And I'm certainly not finished, I'll say that. But I've noticed recently that some of these things, some of these big things, these big shifts that I've been wanting, that I've been trying to make, that I've been putting effort into, attention, I'm seeing that they're starting to move, and they're starting to come to fruition. And the lesson that I'm being taught right now is that if you want to do something big, if you want to move something monumental, if you want to change something about yourself, there's definitely people and there's definitely times where you can just, on the drop of a dime, do a 180, pivot, move, and move forward. But I think for a lot of things, these things take time. And through some projects I've worked on this over the last 6 months or so, I just kind of decided for myself, you know what, I'm going to throw out the time frame. I don't care how long this takes. This isn't like an emergency thing that needs to be done, but it's something that I'm going to work on, and I'm just going to work steady at it. And that's what I've done. And lo and behold, the project, it gets finished. It gets closer and closer to being finished. And so I'm thinking about that as I flash back over the last 10, 15 years. And, I'm trying to do a lot more than just one little project. I'm trying to shift some things, change some things, learn things that I haven't even known how to do. And I've had to figure that out, and then figure out not even just to learn it, but then actually to integrate it and use it. And that's a whole other process in and of itself. And there's a lot of trial and error with all of this, is what I found. And so as I was thinking about this the last couple of days, I'm really happy with what I've been able to see over the last 6-8 months in terms of how some of these little projects, I would say, have kind of come together. But now I'm starting to look back and say, wow, okay, this project with me for the last 5, 10, 15 years, it's starting to come together, and it just takes time. It might take longer than you want it to. I know for me it certainly has in many areas. But I think learning to embrace that is part of the process, it's part of the journey. And so that's my message for today, is that whatever your goal is, whether it's something physical with your body, transformation in your body composition, results you want to see in the gym or fitness or something else, or any area in life, and the emphasis that I'm saying is that the bigger the shift you're looking to make, give yourself that much more time to do it. It doesn't mean you use that as an excuse to put off the effort and the action that you need to get there, because that's not what I'm saying. If you don't ever take the action, you're certainly never going to get any closer. But for me, I found that if I can take that pressure off of thinking that I need to be there in the next 6, 12, 18 months, and just show up and do the work, and it doesn't even have to be perfect. I don't have to do the work perfectly every single time, but just show up and just keep showing up and keep showing up. Little by little, things start to go in that direction. And there's going to be lots of pivots and shifts along the way, things we're going to kind of figure out as we go, things we realize maybe we didn't quite have right, and we're going to change our mind on some things, and that's perfectly okay. And I think the longer these things take, what I'm starting to see is that there's so much more reward in it. And I really believe, time will tell, but I really believe that these are setting up for much longer, much more sustainable and permanent shifts than something that just happens overnight. So that's really what I'm starting to see. I'm excited. I turned 41 on Monday, and a lot of reflection over the last couple decades of my life and how I've lived my life. And I'm really thinking about kind of, as I've coined it, my second half. I don't know how many years it'll be, but whatever my second half is, that's what I've been thinking about for a while. And I'm starting to see how the work that's been put in and that I keep putting in, it does pay off. It takes a hell of a lot longer than I think it will. Damn, for sure it takes a lot longer than I want it to, often. And I'm starting to be okay with that. because I know that it does work. The hard work does pay off. So if I could give any advice, if I could give any message to anyone that needs to hear this, show up and keep doing the work. You have to have the actions behind this. But once you have that and you know that this is where you're going, whatever it is, you just keep doing the work and really get rid of the timeline. That extra pressure, which turns often into somehow feeling like we're falling behind, or we're not where we're supposed to be, we're not as good as the person next to us, and it's easy for them or them, this comparison, all these things, not only do they steal our joy, but I think they keep us stuck in that place that we are trying to move through. So forget the timelines, especially here in the gym. I love these because this analogy, because we can talk about this. This makes sense to me. But we're not playing a game of months and years even. We're playing a game of decades. If I'm 40 now, however old you are now, where do you think you're going to be in 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, maybe 50 years? That's a long time. It's longer than I've even lived at this point. So when I'm thinking about what I want to be doing in here, when I'm 80 years old, if I'm lucky enough to be alive, like that's the game that I want to play. That's the game that I am playing. And that's pretty exciting to me because it's going to be challenging, and it's also going to be fun, especially with this type of attitude. So give yourself that time frame, stretch it out way past whatever you think you need to have this thing done by or accomplished by, or you need to be here by when. It's good to have goals. We want to have a direction to be focused in. But if you're doing the work, just keep doing that. And don't worry about how long it takes. Because the good things, they do take time. And we've heard that before, it sounds cliche, but I'm seeing how that is becoming more and more true as I get a little bit older each year and just keep doing some of these things that ultimately have produced results that I'm happier and happier about. So just stick with it. That's my message for today. And as always, remember, movement is medicine. So keep moving, and we'll see you next time.